Franchise companies proudly display the inclusion to the annual Franchise 500 list, and they present it as complete validation of their brand. Buyers need nothing more than to trust a franchise's placement on this annual list to verify a wise buying decision. But is the Franchise 500 list actually trustworthy? Franchise companies heavily promote the fact we made the Entrepreneur Franchise 500 again. We are the fastest growing franchise. We are number 18 on the 500 list. We made the list again. And prospective buyers, they eat it up. Google searches for the latest 500 years list continue to rise because this list is so visible and well known. It's established a high level of credibility and acceptance with the general public. Franchise companies, they send out press releases that read like this one. Placement in the Franchise 500 is a highly sought after honor in the franchise industry, making it one of the company's most competitive rankings ever. Recognized as an invaluable resource for potential franchisees, the Franchise 500 ranks, and I deleted the company name here, for its outstanding performance in areas including unit growth, financial strength and stability, and brand power. Now, any company that makes it on that list, they yell this inclusion from the rooftops, and most, if not all of them, imply that inclusion to the list completely validates their franchise. Take a look again at this wording. Recognized as an invaluable resource for potential franchisees. So this statement suggests that buyers need only to trust this list as the invaluable resource in making a wise franchise buying decision. And every year, more and more people are drawn to their financial doom by investing in something they didn't fully understand. But hey, it made the list. Now, viewers of the channel know we've demonstrated on multiple videos here how many terrible franchises actually end up on that list. Franchises with multiple lawsuits, franchises with stunningly high failure rates, franchises with terrible franchisee satisfaction, and even franchises that fraudulently misrepresent statistics. We're going to look at a couple of examples in a minute. Now, the fact is, there is no way to individually vet 500 franchises every single year to the extent required to build a relevant list. You would need a team of researchers working around the clock to explore millions of data points that change, and sometimes significantly, every single year. Now, what most people seem to forget is that Entrepreneur Magazine is a media outlet. They're not a franchise consultancy. They make money from this list, and more power to them for doing so. But the more eyeballs that get on their list every year, the more money that they make. And they license their badges. They can even generate leads for franchise companies. We can take a look at this right on their website. Leverage and enhance your ranking. Find your next qualified franchisee with a lead generating advertising program within entrepreneur.com's franchise section. Contact, and we've removed the email from that. So it's a pretty good business. Entrepreneur creates and controls the list, and for an added fee, franchise companies can enhance and leverage their ranking. Now, those are their words, not ours. Now, the sad part is that people assume because a franchise is on this list, they're making a good decision. And every year, more and more people pile into these bad franchises and lose their money. Now, purveyors of these lists seem to forget, or maybe they don't care, that these are real people, often using real retirement funds to buy these franchises. But isn't this illegal? No, it isn't. We'll look at why in a minute. Is it unethical? Possibly. But buyers should note that the Franchise 500 states right on their website that people should not use this information to make a decision. Now, that said, I would hazard guess that most people don't even read the fine print on the website, and they miss this critical information. Additionally, franchise companies themselves don't include this disclaimer. The vast majority of prospective buyers are unlikely to see this disclaimer at all. So Entrepreneur Magazine tells you not to use its list to make a decision, but this disclaimer isn't included on any of the franchise company websites that are telling you you need to use this list to make a decision. Now, Entrepreneur Magazine reveals a very important fact in their disclaimer, that the criteria used in their list isn't even store-level information, something that would be important to a buyer. It is high-level information that's pertaining to the strength of the franchise system as a whole. The 2020 list shows 5 pillars which are considered for its inclusions, and we're showing the pillars here. Now, do you as a buyer care if the company provides financing? Should they get extra points for this? And how does a company get points for social media? Some of the brands on this list have terrible social media. Growth rate? Having an aggressive growth rate can actually be bad for you as a franchisee if the franchise can't support it. Years in business. They've included several startup and emerging franchise brands on the list. The Franchise 500 also claims to look at franchise closures, so stores that have closed. Now, Subway is included as number 107 on the latest 2020 list. Subway closed over 2,000 stores over the past 3 years. 2,000 stores, and over 1,000 stores closed in 2018 alone. That represents 2,000 real people who lost their investments. Thousands of buyers who perhaps had validated their own investing decision after seeing the Franchise 500 rankings. Now, Baskin-Robbins, they're number 13 of 500 on the list. They just missed making the top 10. Baskin-Robbins franchise stores are the single lowest earning franchise on the QSR 50. Now, according to the QSR 50, an average Baskin-Robbins grosses revenues of only $240,000 a year. Now, to put that in context, an average Chick-fil-A single location grosses over $4 million a year. But the Franchise 500 list doesn't look at individual store earnings. They look at the earnings of the entire company. Their own website states, "We do not measure subjective elements such as franchisee satisfaction or management style. The objective factors are plugged into our exclusive Franchise 500 formula, with each eligible company receiving a cumulative score." So the single number one factor that could help buyers make a better buying decision, which is franchisee satisfaction, is completely ignored. There are several franchises on that list, some of them very highly placed, that have multiple lawsuits, alarming failure rates, low franchisee satisfaction, and terrible earnings at a unit level. So simply put, let's wrap this up. The most popular list that touches the majority of the largest franchise brands in the world, and one that is shamelessly used as validation for the quality of a franchise investment by franchisors, includes some terrible franchises. But who put this highly coveted industry list together anyway? Surely they must have hired franchising professionals to compile the list, did they not? Now, if you look below the fine print of their disclaimer, at the even finer print, almost microscopic, showing who created the list, you'll see the research performed for the entire list was compiled by individuals who have zero franchising experience. Now, let that sink in for a second. The two main individuals responsible for compiling what is perceived as the most important industry list have no franchising experience. Now, we've retracted their names for privacy reasons, and we don't mean to cast aspersions at them personally. I'm sure they're great at what they do, but they just have no experience in franchising. The first name mentioned as the lead in the research is a special projects editor at Entrepreneur Media. Their education is a bachelor's degree in English. Now, according to their LinkedIn profile, they also run a side business selling domain names. Now, the second name mentioned is listed online as an SEO expert and director of ad operations. Now, SEO, for those of you who don't know, is search engine optimization. According to their profile, they have more than 4 years of SEO and marketing experience. No mention of any franchising experience at all. So consider this. Hundreds of franchises hype the inclusion to this list as validation of their business. They post their Franchise 500 badges on the front pages of websites, and they post it on their literature. They mention it frequently when speaking with candidates who want to buy their franchise. And sadly, every year, hundreds of franchise buyers make decisions that are based, at least in part, on inclusion to the Franchise 500 list. And this is a list that's pulled together by an English major who sells domains on the side and an SEO expert with 4 years of experience. And also a list, if I might say, that doesn't even look at franchisee satisfaction or any other important data points, and notably includes some of the worst franchises out there. And also a list that admittedly tells you not to use it to make a decision, but then allows franchise companies to imply the list is all that you need to make a good decision. And year after year, this list gets churned out. The public eats it up, and they invest quite possibly what was their retirement savings on one of these top franchises that just gets richer, only to qualify for the list again the following year based on their growing bank account. And in the world of franchising, Entrepreneur Magazine's Franchise 500 is actually one of the better lists in that they don't blatantly sell spots for a fee. There's many other lists out there that do just that. But buyers don't know any better than to attribute a level of significance to a franchise that somehow ended up on a list. And franchise buyers really need to understand these lists are helpful as a starting point, but nothing more. And they in no way should validate your decision to invest in any particular franchise. You need to vet a franchise on multiple levels, including operational alignment, how that franchise aligns with your operational skills and abilities, your market demand, how that franchise is going to fare in your unique market, demographic compatibility, is the franchise a good match for your location, and dozens of other factors before you make a decision. There are some great franchises out there, but buyers need to be cautious, critical, and in the prescient words of a famous rap song, don't believe the hype. You know, Franchise City provides free tools that help buyers make better buying decisions and avoid mistakes, including psychometric assessments, comparative analysis, and red flag reports, all available at no charge. It's real actionable data. You can learn more about us by clicking above. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.